Okay, Darragh Tattan. Alright, Darragh, first things first, change that to 2019 and get an image of your final project in there. You have a lovely final project, get a nice image in there and change that to your exam number. Good man. Table of contents, Darragh, make sure that whatever it says here on the table of contents, make sure whatever these numbers are, that they match exactly to what's in your page. So if page 1 is table of contents, this is page 1. Page 2 and 3 is analysis of brief. Page 2, it's only page 2. So you need to change that is 2, and then your spider diagram is page 3. Actually, that's analysis of brief as well, so you can leave that in page 2 and 3, I suppose. But make sure these correlate. And look, joining methods is not in your project. So that section is left out. So after materials research, you need to add in a page and maybe copy in the text from materials research and change the headings and just copy and paste the text from it so that you can use the words that are on the page, and all you do, instead of where it says material research, write in joining methods wherever you've wrote about materials research, that you change the headings on it or use the finishes page. Whatever you have to do, copy and paste one of these pages and fill in joining methods, and then put in where, say on finishes page, the heading says finishes, then it says you'll have Danish oil, the words about Danish oil, varnish or whatever. Maybe use the same page, but instead of finishes, call it joining methods. Instead of where it says Danish oil, put in dovetail joints or whatever. Alright, and change them all around. Brilliant, this page is brilliant, excellent. This one here, you have a few more arrows to come out of that. You need to get it loads. If you look at the example I give you, there's loads in it. If you want, you can sketch it. You can sketch the spider diagram and use the one that I gave you as an example, but there's a lot more words need to go on that. Design considerations, so where is it going to go, who's going to use it, why did you select the brief, that needs to be there. I've chosen this brief, I designed the project so there will be a lot of storage, I would design the storage for young people as well. Okay, alright, make sure it answers all the questions in the example. Design constraints, right. I will face, this is all done before the project is made, so size will be a constraint, and explain why. The size of the project will be a constraint because it says in the brief it has to have a maximum size of 450 by 450. The place where it's going to go is up on a wall in my room. I need to be able to pass by it, so the most it can stick out is 300 millimeters. The function of it, I need to be able to use. It needs to be able to hold some of my personal items, such as a wallet or whatever. The wallet needs to be not be able to. The wallet needs to be not seen when it is in the unit, so that it can't be taken or something like that. So I might have to have a door or some sort of enclosed space to put it in. The time, I need to have it done by the end of March so that I have 2 weeks to put a finish on the project, and so on. You need to, if you're putting them in as constraints, fill out words with them, like good man. That's fine, but you need to fill in for applying and evaluation as well, fill in all them sections. And if you did a chosen solution, maybe leave out that week for the working drawings. You couldn't do the working drawings and chosen solution together because you've only just chose the solution, so how could you be doing the working drawings of it? So leave out the first week. You need to add in a bit more than that if you look what I give you. So I am not, so time management reflection, so maybe an area I'm not good at is the computer part of it, so I'm going to have to leave extra time to do that, make sure I get it done. In my plans, the design area is an area of strength for me, or an area of weakness or whatever. Just say that you're going to allow more time for something and less time for something else. There's more marks, there's a lot of marks going for design, so I'm going to make sure I have 3 good designs and so on. So you're thinking about the marks and your strengths and weaknesses, and you're going to plan your time accordingly. Aim to create something personal to me, to create something that I like. They're the same thing, Darragh, so you're going to have to put in another one there. To create something that I will use every day. Right. Add in another one here. So maybe your aim would be to get better at to improve my woodworking skills might be in there instead of that. Improve my woodworking skills. And then your objectives are how you're going to measure this. So to create something personal to me, so your objective is I will the aesthetics or how the thing looks at the end is something that I will really like and I will want to put in my room. That measures that. I will improve my woodworking skills. So by the end of my project, the joints in the project will all be fitting correctly and it'll assemble correctly. So that shows that you're measuring that. I will create something that I will use every day, right? The final project is functional and fits all my personal items. So that's how you measure that, alright? So put them in. I asked my uncle and parents what type of timber, right? So just move that down and then put in a thing that maybe says oak, and in a box beside it, show kind of a questionnaire that you might have filled out, pine, and a box beside it, and underneath you say, I got my uncle and my parents to fill out that, and I found that most of them liked pine, because you ended up with pine. Most of them liked pine as a type of wood. I asked them as well. So that's question one. Question two might be, I asked them what sort of finishes like Danish oil, varnish, and you'll find that a lot of them like Danish oil. They prefer Danish oil. Do you know what I mean? So you're going to put them in as a. So that's how you ended up making your project out of pine and using Danish oil. Darragh, you need to put in a picture of where the thing goes. So maybe put in a picture of where the item goes, maybe the wall in a room. And then on this page, maybe put in a photo of something that's going into it. So maybe your wallet or your phone or something. Put that in there. So that's your primary research. Secondary research. So you're going to base it on a trailer. That's alright, okay. Maybe as well put in a few items. Maybe put in a few items that are going to go into it. I put in 4 sections there. So maybe put in a watch. Maybe put in just a few more, a set of keys or something, and measurements on it. That's fine, this one, but maybe put in 3 more of things that are going to be going into it using the templates I gave you. That's fine as a mood board. Maybe put in 2 or 3 more trailers on it, and don't use capital letters. I have huge interest in trailers and tractors, and especially silage. I would like to use. So you didn't choose it, you haven't done anything yet. I would like to use a silage trailer as an inspiration for my final project, because I know a lot about them and they're a big part of my life or something like that, and that's why I'm doing it. And then you're going on to product analysis. So that's where you look at 2 other things. These need to be filled in now there. So you're going to put in a picture of some wall mounted unit that holds keys. You might find one that's the shape of a key on the internet, and you're going to say how compared to them. One is made out of pine, whereas the other one is made out of hardwood. This one looks better because of the shape of a key. It's a lot more friendly, looks good. Cost, this one is probably less cost because it's made out of pine, whereas this one is made out of oak, which is a lot more expensive wood. Manufacture, this one has a lot of curves on it, which means it was used scroll saw or a bandsaw to cut out the curves, whereas this one is a box shape, which means the joints on it were straightforward. So you need to fill that in there. You got this 26th of October, needs to be filled in. All needs to be filled in. So if you're going to use birch, picture of birch, tin leaf deciduous tree, something about the wood. Ash, picture of an ash tree. English name, a genus flowering plant. You didn't write that, that's copied off the internet. I know that, so the examiner will not write it in the way that you would. Fraxinus, is that a word that you use? So don't just copy and paste anything off the internet. Stuff that's relevant and fill it in, please. Softwood type 1. Right, same thing, picture, and not just about the tree. Put in something about the wood. So the wood is used for whatever. Same here, same here. Alright? Has to be filled in. man-made board types 1. I put that in, you put the heading MDF. So that's your heading, MDF. And don't underline everything. Don't bother underlining that at all, please. Plywood, good and strong as sheets. Like, you need to have 2 or 3 sentences, and you need to have a picture of a type of plywood. Spend a bit of time on that now, Darragh, because that needs to happen, man. You need to get this done in the next 48 hours. Other material, lock, screws, hinges, won't do. A lock, picture of a lock. A lock keeps the door closed. There's a few different types of locks. You can get ones with keys, you can get ones with combinations. If you're going to put in materials as one. Alright? So, you need to fill in that section there. That needs to happen. Right. You need a lot more detail in this there. Lot more detail. Finishes, take out the underlining, please, Darragh, and don't put in finish 1. Take out finish 1 and your heading is paint. And put in a picture of a tin of paint, a picture of a tin of wax, a picture of an oil varnish, and put in, if you're going to do that, just take out the underlining. They all look to be headings. Take out the underlining, your heading is wax. And then dull, even sheen, spit polished, 5 hours drying. You apply it with a rag or a cloth. Oil varnish, not finish 3. Enhances natural fit. These are all fine, that's all good information. But make it a bit more friendly for the person reading it. Put a few images in there. Hand tool 1. Once again, I won't say this anymore, but your heading is ruler. Take out where it says hand tool 1 and put in ruler. That's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Okay, right. You can say cuts curves as well. Bandsaw cuts curves. Okay, right. Joints, take out the underlining. Right, okay. So primary research, these are the main bits of information that you found out of when you did the interview. What's the main bit of information you did? When you did the when you looked at the pictures of the wallets and the phones that I talked about that you're going to put in, what's the main sizes that you took out of that? The biggest size of a wallet I found was 100mm in my research, right? That's what you're putting in there. There's no new information in here. This is all an evaluation or a summary of what you did before. Joining methods, I told you to add in that section there at the very start. So look, see this section here that says finishes? Copy and paste this page and put it, is it before or after finishes, did I say? Put it before finishes. So put a page, copy and paste this page, change the heading to joining methods, call the first heading dovetails, or housing joint, bridal joint, or whatever. Picture of a dovetail, explain what a dovetail does. Picture of a mortise and tenon joint, explain what a mortise and tenon joint does. Do that page. And then when you get to your evaluation page, you can say, I learned the best way to join 2 perpendicular pieces of timber is mortise and tenon joint is the strongest because it's got the most gluing area. So that's something you learned from your research. Finishes, Danish oil is the easiest to apply because you can apply quickly with a cloth by wiping it on. So I may consider using that. Hand tools, right. Learn to use caliper. No, you didn't learn. You're going to learn. You've learned nothing yet. So I need to learn how to use. I have never used the calipers before. I'm going to learn how to use that. Pillar drill. I am going to learn. I am going to learn how to use a pillar drill because I need to do some vertical drilling. I need to do vertical drilling. So this is all done before you did anything. Darragh, the fact that isn't done is bonkers, man. You've had since the 26th of October. You need to get a picture of something you sketched in there and full sentences, 3 good things about it, full sentences, bad things about it, and then use the words out of your brief. You did an excellent analysis of brief. Use the words to explain why that meets the brief. Darragh, there is huge marks going for all these. The fact it isn't done is nuts, man. That's bonkers. That needs to be done. You had this template on the 26th of October. You've had this for 6 months. You've 48 hours. You're going to have to use a lot of them to get all this up to scratch. Chosen idea needs to be the exact sketch of the final one you did. Get it in there. Mention good aspects and bad aspects in it. Right. And then a working drawing. I don't care how you get that done, Darragh. I don't care how you get the working drawing done, but you need what the thing looks like from the front, what the thing looks like from above, and what the thing looks like from the side. So you'll have your hinge there or whatever, you'll have your hinge out this side, from above it'll look like that. You need to have all three of these done in with a ruler with the measurements on it. Needs to be done. Needs to be done. Have a look in your book at an example of working drawings. Darragh, cutting list is blank. If you were to remake the project, what are all the parts you'd need? Get a ruler and the project you have. Make sure that is all filled in, please. Evaluation and conclusion not done either. Darragh, you have a very good artefact at the end of this project, but at the moment your portfolio is way below scratch. You have a load of work to do, and you have time to do it because your project is finished. All you're doing is putting coats of Danish oil on it. It only takes 20 minutes. You have a load of work to do in this, Darragh. Load of it.